There was once a bird unlike any creature that had ever lived. It did not simply survive death. It was said to be reborn from it. When its life reached its end, flames would consume its body, and from the ashes would emerge a new phoenix, young, radiant, and destined to live again. This is the legend of the phoenix, one of the most famous mythical creatures in the history of the world. Welcome to Mythology, where the great stories, ancient beliefs, and legendary mysteries of civilizations across the world come to life. And the story of the phoenix begins thousands of years ago, long before the modern image of a magnificent bird rising from flames became famous. The earliest traditions connected to the phoenix are closely associated with ancient Egypt and a sacred bird called the Bennu. The Bennu is linked with the sun, creation, renewal, and the eternal cycle of life. Ancient Egyptian mythology described the Bennu as a divine bird associated with the creator god Adam and later with the sun god Ra. It was connected to the sacred cycles of sunrise, death, and renewal. The Bennu was not exactly the same creature as the later Greek phoenix, but as stories traveled between civilizations, the traditions surrounding this mysterious sacred bird began to influence one another. The Greek historian Herodotus wrote about a remarkable bird called the phoenix. According to the account, the phoenix appeared only rarely. It was said to resemble an eagle, with magnificent golden and red plumage that seemed to shine like fire beneath the sun. The bird was believed to live for an extraordinarily long period before the final moment of its existence arrived. And then came the part that made the phoenix immortal in human imagination. When death approached, the phoenix prepared a nest made from fragrant branches and spices. The ancient stories connected the nest with aromatic materials such as cinnamon and other precious plants. Then the final transformation began. The nest caught fire. Flames surrounded the magnificent bird. The phoenix disappeared into the burning nest, leaving behind nothing but ashes. But the story did not end there. From those ashes came another phoenix. A new bird emerged from the remains of the old one, carrying the mystery of the creature that had come before. In some later versions of the legend, the young phoenix gathered the ashes of its predecessor and carried them to the sacred city of Heliopolis in Egypt. There, the remains were associated with the Temple of the Sun. The meaning of the story gradually became more powerful than the details of the creature itself. The phoenix represented a cycle that seemed impossible in the natural world. Death became the beginning of life. Destruction became creation. The ending became a beginning. As centuries passed, Roman writers continued to spread the legend. The phoenix became associated with the idea of an extraordinary creature that appeared only once in a great span of time. Some Roman writers described its life as lasting hundreds of years. Others gave it an even longer lifespan. The exact number changed from one account to another, but the central mystery remained the same. The phoenix could die, yet death could never truly end the phoenix. The legend eventually traveled far beyond the ancient Mediterranean world. Across the Middle East and later European traditions, the phoenix became increasingly associated with fire, resurrection, immortality, and renewal. But ancient cultures also possessed other legendary birds that were sometimes confused with the phoenix. Persian mythology, for example, tells of the Simurgh, a gigantic and extraordinary bird associated with wisdom, healing, and divine knowledge. The Simurgh was not simply a Persian version of the phoenix. Its story belonged to a different mythological tradition. Likewise, other cultures developed their own sacred and supernatural birds. Yet the image of a magnificent bird connected with cosmic cycles and renewal repeatedly appeared in human mythology. This may explain why the phoenix became such a powerful symbol. The bird was more than a creature with beautiful feathers. It represented one of the oldest mysteries known to humanity. What happens after an ending? Ancient people watched the sun disappear each evening and return each morning. They watched plants wither and grow again. They witnessed seasons vanish and return. Civilizations rose, fell, and were replaced by new civilizations. The phoenix transformed these endless cycles into the image of a single extraordinary creature, a bird of fire, a bird that carried the memory of death and the promise of another beginning. Over time, artists imagined the phoenix with brilliant scarlet feathers, golden wings, and flames surrounding its body. Poets transformed its death into a symbol of sacrifice. Storytellers transformed its rebirth into a symbol of hope. And the legend continued traveling from generation to generation. Yet perhaps the most fascinating part of the phoenix myth is that no single ancient story created the creature exactly as it is remembered today. The modern phoenix is the result of centuries of mythology evolving across cultures. The Egyptian Bennu, the Greek phoenix, Roman accounts, and later traditions all contributed pieces to the legend. And from those pieces emerged one of the world's most enduring mythical creatures. The phoenix never needed an army. It never ruled a kingdom. It carried no legendary weapon. Its greatest power was something far stranger, the power to return. Every flame became an ending. Every ash became a beginning. And every generation could tell the story again. That is why, after thousands of years, the phoenix still rises in mythology, not because the ancient world proved that such a bird existed, but because the story itself refused to die. The phoenix burns, the phoenix falls, the phoenix becomes ash, and then from the ashes, the phoenix rises again. This is Sarah Mythology. For more legendary stories from Greek, Egyptian, Indian, Japanese, African, Italian, Mesoamerican, Norse, and other ancient traditions, subscribe to Sarah Mythology, like this story, and leave a comment about the next myth waiting to rise from the ashes. Until the next ancient legend, the stories of mythology continue to live.